is this, Armstrong?
No big surprise. You're looking for me.
Hey, welcome to the MDVA Movie Club. I am Matt.
I'm Dan.
Kayla.
Seth.
Hey, welcome everybody to another week, another movie. More fun happening here each and every week on the Movie Club. How's everybody been? It feels like it's been a long week. Like I feel like it feels longer since the last time I've seen you is what I'm trying to say.
I would agree.
Went pretty quick for me.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Our daughter had a birthday, so we've been kind of wrapped up between today as her actual birthday and the weekend we were celebrating. So there's been a lot going on. So it's been a happy week.
Oh, very cool. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I'm trying to think if I have anything. Yeah, I went to Jersey this past weekend and visited some friends and had fun. And I haven't really watched anything other than what I was supposed to this week. Well, I've been watching. That's not true. I've been watching the last 5 days my annual horror Halloween-thon that I do. So I have watched some things, but nothing new, nothing really exciting. Has anybody else watched anything this week?
I know I have.
Well, do tell.
Oh. Well, I started my Halloween Michael Myers-a-thon. I've tried to watch all the Halloweens for the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I haven't completed it. I get to 5 and I hit a rut and I just stop. Now, granted, I already tried it once before when I was 10 or 12 years old, but I haven't gotten to complete them all, but I'm going to do it this year.
You're like 12 and a half now, right?
Yeah, mentally I'm a little bit younger, but yeah. Then I actually squeezed in 7 about 30 minutes ago. I've been busy, okay? Busy, so I'd already seen it. Just watch my show Heels. Gotta love that. I know Matt's all into that, so.
Great show. I said it before. Yeah. It's on Stars. It's phenomenal. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate it.
They released episode 1 for free on YouTube, and they're planning on doing the first couple episodes for free on YouTube, I believe, just to get people to get more interested in it.
Wow. Yeah, go check out Heels on YouTube. Like I said, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate it. It's more about the drama and it's a typical TV show, people sleeping with people and people betraying people and all kinds of stuff. And wrestling's just kind of the background of it,
And I don't know if anybody has any school-age children, but we did end up watching a movie, My Little Pony. I'm not really sure what the full title is.
It's a new movie?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Kids, yeah.
New Generation or something it's called. Something like that.
And I will tell you, coming from a 30-year-old male, I did enjoy actually this movie with my kids. Would definitely say it would be worth a watch for you if you have the time. And again, you might be into My Little Pony. I'm not going to sit here and judge, or you might have children that maybe you want to watch something with. I think it was a good pick.
It was really funny.
I saw and heard bits and pieces of it while I was in Jersey. The kids there, my friends, he's actually got 2 sons, but they're both real young, and they had it on and they watched it twice over the weekend. And I was watching My Little Pony. I didn't realize it was brand new, but that makes sense.
Yeah, it was entertaining for sure.
Okay.
Can't say I'm going to watch that one. I'm sorry, guys.
I might make it my next pick.
Oh,
no.
I'm sick next week, unfortunately. So
that's calling out for next week. Speaking of calling out, I guess we should address the elephant in the room, or should I say not in the room. He was supposed to be here this week to make the announcement, but he's not. because of the reason that, well, let me just get into it. Our friend and fellow co-host Wyatt unfortunately has to leave us due to work and busy schedules, and he just accepted, not to put his business out there, but he just accepted a new job that's going to tie him up quite a bit, and thus also the reason he's not here tonight as we record this. He had hoped to be, but he's not. So as of, I guess, 2 episodes ago, we've seen the last of Wyatt, unfortunately. But Wyatt, if you're watching, we will miss you. And please know you're always welcome to come back should you be available to. We got to have more of that Shaggy Scooby impression. That made my whole week that week. So, we already had room open for more panelists, but now we have even more room. So, if you guys are watching this and want to be a part of it, we got some big things coming up, which I'm sure we'll address soon. So hit us up. We're accepting new members, new people, new cast, new co-hosts. We want you to be a part of it. So come talk about movies with us every week. Seth, you got the news for us, sir?
We will see if my internet allows it.
This week on If Seth's Internet Holds Up.
All right. So George Clooney and Brad Pitt are attached to a new John Watts film. John Watts, he directs the newer Spider-Man movies that are coming out. So there's going to be a new flick with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, directed by John Watts. Sorry, I'm readjusting here. Second up, Disney and Scarlett Johansson settled their lawsuit, and Scarlett Johansson walked out with a nice, cool sum of $40 million. Yeah, so good for her.
I think we kind of figured that was going to happen.
I mean, yeah. The Rocky IV director's cut is coming out in November, I believe, and it'll have 40 minutes of extra footage and new music, which is just, I'm a huge Rocky fan, huge Stallone fan, so I absolutely can't wait for this. Next up, Gladiator 2 is in the works. 21 years later, be Gladiator 2.
Didn't spoilers? Didn't Russell Crowe die or something?
Yeah.
Am I okay? I was gonna say, am I thinking of the right movie?
The rumor, which has been
he
around,
won't be in this.
I highly doubt it. But the rumor that's been circulating since Gladiator 1 came out, because this movie's been talked about for 21 years, is that was it Commodus's son or something? Is supposed to be the lead or something, and I don't know. It just seems kind of unnecessary, but we'll see how it plays out. And finally, Venom 2 has broken the pandemic box office record, scoring $90.1 million in its opening weekend, which I don't think anybody saw coming. At least I know I didn't. Yeah, movie's making a crap ton of money already. So,
wow, good for it.
Yeah.
I haven't been to see it. Have any of you seen it?
What is it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
The first one?
He saw it. Seth saw it.
Oh, the second one.
You saw the new one? Oh, you did tell me you saw that. We had that conversation. How was it?
I really enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10 for me. First half, I think they tried too hard on the comedy and just didn't land for me, at least. It was kind of odd. But that second half, everything came together super well, and it worked extremely good. I really liked the movie. Tom Hardy, always fantastic, but he was really, really good in this. Woody Harrelson, the same thing. He's always good, but he was really good in this. And stick around for that post-credit scene, because that was mind-blowing.
I've already been spoiled on the post-credit scene, unfortunately, and I
have you?
I can't say I didn't see it coming. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but
I have an idea of what it is, so.
it's becoming
Come
official.
on, think.
Still exciting.
I don't want it spoiled.
Is that it? Is that all the news?
That's all the news I
Wait.
got.
Oh,
I'm sure I
okay.
forgot something.
Okay. Give it up for
Okay.
Seth. He gave us the news.
Yay!
And I successfully did it
You
Yeah, I know, you
successfully
made
did
it through.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Hey, we're on to something. We're here to talk about the movie Seven. It was Dan's pick. Dan picked the movie Seven, the 1995 thriller. I guess you'd call it a thriller, dramatic thriller, suspenseful thriller, drama.
Psychological crime thriller. You got it.
Yeah. With, of course, Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey. R. Lee Ermey is in this, which I didn't realize, and I was very excited. I have his autograph in my living room. He's no longer with us on this earth, but one of my faves. Dan, continuing the spooky season as we roll through October. Seven, it was your pick. Of course, you get to go first, but you're also our stat guy. What do you got for us in the stats?
Alrighty, so this movie was made with a budget of $33 million. We know we had some big name actors in here. Some of them were already in their prime. Some were, still kicking it off. But overall, this movie ended up breaking box office records when it came through. It was kind of like a something people weren't expecting. It did $327 million in the box office. It was the 7th highest grossing film of that year. It was well received by critics, nominated for Best Film Editing at the 68th Academy Awards, but ultimately ended up losing to Apollo 13. But overall, Kayla did a little bit of research into this as well. One thing, or how the screenplay was made, the gentleman who made the screenplay was a writer. He spent some time in, New York?
City.
New York City, and he based a lot of his, what he wrote about in the screenplay about his experience in New York. He'd go on, what other film did we say that he ended up doing? Anyways, we know he was a part of another big...
The director or the screenwriter?
The screenwriter ended up coming out with another a book based on this after the fact, but also ended up being a screenwriter on another big movie later down the road. So overall, with this film, we have pretty good ratings across the board. 8.6 on IMDb, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4.3 on Letterboxd, who I've never heard of before. And 91% of people who've watched this movie have enjoyed this movie. And again, I'm sorry, this film came out September 22nd, 1995.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. He's a screenwriter on Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. He's done quite a few things that I've seen and enjoyed. You never heard of Letterboxd?
I have personally never heard of Letterboxd.
I have a Letterboxd account. I've had it for a few years.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not.
So, Dan, it was your pick. You obviously picked this movie for a reason, so why don't you tell us what it is and what you thought?
All right, so back in my younger days, I wanted to be in the Maryland State Police. That was kind of a dream of mine. And I was into a lot of crime stories, movies like that. Probably saw this before I got into that, but once I got into that, really stepped back to analyze this film. One of the things you learn about is different types of serial killers, what they're interested in, and not to get off into a totally new topic, but it was interesting to dissect the character of the serial killer in this. So I thought, again, the performances that were brought on by Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, I thought they were spot on. One's playing the wizened police officer or detective who's trying to step down, step away, and retire, who's pretty much been through it all, seen it all. And then you have a hotshot young detective coming on the scene who wants to make a name for himself, build things up, and kind of further his career, really taking a lot of shortcuts, whereas Morgan Freeman's character is more methodical, doing like research, heavy research, having known like different things, different stories. Like they reference Dante I'm sorry, messing his name. Dante's Inferno in this. They talk about Paradise Lost and a lot of things that maybe somebody who was younger or less experienced or not as well educated would have, brought up to try to figure out how to track down this serial killer. Overall, I love this movie. It's one of my top 10. That's why I picked this movie. I thought that really would get you in the mood for a little bit of slasher without getting fully involved. But overall, just the ways that these folks meet their end, and kind of how not only it's talking about the seven sins, how they play a role into their deaths, but also how you get some cracks in, like the young lady who's closer to the end that was more about her vanity. They ended up cutting her nose off to spite her face. Like, it was just things like that, like little things that they threw in that really made it interesting to me. It kept me going, kept me interested the whole time. You really start to get invested in this family. In the end, honestly, the first time I watched it just kind of shattered me, which I'm sure somebody will bring up. But overall, like again, one of my top movies. I'd give it 9.5 out of 10 stars personally. But we'll see what you guys rate it as.
What'd you give it?
9.5 out of 10.
Very cool. Thank you, Dan. Who would like to go next?
I'll go if nobody wants to go.
Okay.
Do you want to go, Seth?
Go ahead.
So, like Dan, I've watched it before when I was much younger. But watching this movie now, it, like, for me, I have a whole different take on it. Especially the goriness, and they put so much detail into every single sin, as far as like the amount of work that went into the actual scene. So for me, it was kind of harder to watch now because I have more like anxiety about like blood now, and I think about that kind of stuff so much. So to me, it was kind of hard to watch this time around. But my favorite thing about the movie is that I love the contrast between Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt's character, especially the way they do things, like the scene in the beginning with Morgan Freeman laying out, like with all his things laid out in the morning and putting them in his pocket one by one, whatever. And then you see Brad Pitt, who's like everything's thrown everywhere, given he's just moved in, but he's got his gun holder, whatever it's called, slinged everywhere. He takes a drink of water. That was my favorite thing, is the contrast between the two, and then eventually how they have to work together and become like the yin and yang to finally work out this puzzle. So for me, it's the screenwriting, the screenplay itself was brilliant. I'm amazed at the guy who put this together, because if I was a producer or whatever and read this script for the first time, David Finch, who read this, which is the director, and Morgan Freeman, they were going to do numerous changes to the script, and Morgan Freeman and David Finch fought for this script,
The original script,
to stay the same, because it was so brilliant from start to finish. Because the studio thought that it was too dark for the target audience to enjoy. But I'm really glad they stuck with what they had, because to me it's a work of art. The production, the screenplay, the actors, the performance, everything put together. Kevin Spacey really plays a psychopath. Like, it's amazing.
and he's creepy.
And he's creepy. That's the thing. Like, he's creepy. But for me, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love Brad Pitt. I think this is one of his best roles. And you can see in the final scene, the way he just at a snap of a finger, he draws that emotion and that range there. So it's fantastic. But yeah, I think that final scene is really what makes this movie such a classic movie, and something you can go back to when you're thinking about best films of all time, in my opinion. So
Wow.
there you have it.
There it is. Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah.
Seth, you want to flip a coin or what do you want
I
to do?
don't care.
I mean, it depends on how you want to.
Rochambeau.
Let's end on a high note, so I'll go last.
Mm.
Oh, geez.
It's a Brad Pitt movie, so you already know.
I am going to make some people mad with what I'm about to
Oh
say.
my God, Matt. I
But
swear.
hopefully not too mad.
I'm already upset. We had a small discussion
Um,
before y'all got in here.
So I'm trying to. I have notes, so I keep looking down. I'm trying to like memorize. So I was like, while Kayla was talking, I was looking down trying to memorize, so I don't have to like do this. But so if I look down, I apologize. But this movie I had never seen before. I'd heard about it most of my life, and it's always up there with one of the greatest movies of all time. And like we did The Godfather, you know, it's up there with, you know, when it's in that conversation. And I am admittedly not a Brad Pitt fan. There are things with Brad Pitt in them that I enjoy. Seth actually called me out on this, but I had a good rebuttal. He called me out on this earlier this week and said, just how many Brad Pitt movies have you seen? I said, I don't know. Do you want me to go check his entire filmography and let you know? He's like, yes. So I did. And so I went on IMDb and counted every single Brad Pitt movie that I had seen, which was, so actually, I think surprised us both. I've seen 19 Brad Pitt films, and I am only a fan of maybe 3 or 4 of them. So I think it's not just me being a hater. I think it's an actual thing. But anyway, with that in mind, this movie is a good movie, but I don't think it's a great movie. Nor do I think it's one of the best of all time. It was probably very great and clever and classic when it came out in the mid 90s. But if this same movie were to come out brand new today, I don't think it would have the same effect on people as it did. Even with the same actors, you put today Brad Pitt with today Morgan Freeman, with today David Fincher, with today Kevin Spacey, I don't think it would do the same. I think the timing and the context of the timing helped it. I have here, I kept hearing good things about it, so I was really holding, and that could be also, it could also play a part in that. I have heard so many good things about it, kind of like The Godfather, my whole life, about how great this movie is. So I went into it with really high expectations. And while I think it's a really well done movie, I don't think it didn't reach that high level that I was expecting. I thought the first half of the movie was kind of slow burner, but I stuck with it. You know, I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't like getting up and down. Like I was like, I'm going to get through this. The second half of the movie, I dug a lot more. And I'm going to surprise everyone here because I'm also not a big Kevin Spacey fan, but when I watched this, I had forgotten actually just how much I do enjoy Kevin Spacey. I think, and it's the first time I've seen I think it's the first time I've seen Kevin Spacey in a movie since that whole stuff with him came out in the news a few years ago. I don't think I've seen anything with him in it since. So just seeing him on my screen again was like, oh yeah, he was pretty good, especially in this. I think Kevin Spacey was probably my favorite part of this movie, which I never thought I would say. But I think that for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, but I think the stuff, his public or his personal life that came out in the public some years back definitely tainted his image for me. And I was never like a huge fan to begin with. So it just kind of was easy to flip the switch and put it away. But, bring it out and putting it back in the spotlight, I was like, Oh yeah, he is actually pretty good at this. So I really dug Kevin Spacey. I thought I'm going to spoil this, guys. I thought the entire while I dug Kevin Spacey, I thought the ending was kind of weak. I didn't like that he just turns himself in. You build up to this entire murder mystery thing and you want some epic conclusion. And instead, he just walks in and turns himself in for the heck of it. And then we get, I see I'm making some people mad. And then we get to the end, which everyone keeps talking about. I'll just go ahead and spoil the crap out of it. It's predictable. I knew almost immediately what was going to happen. I knew from the time, I'll even say that I didn't know how, but I knew almost immediately that Brad Pitt's wife was going to die. From the minute they introduced her on screen, I was like, oh, she's dead. And then when they brought out the box at the end, I was like, oh, her head's in that box. I actually said that out loud to nobody. And I was right. I thought it was predictable. I thought, and then this is really going to make some people mad. I thought I did not buy Brad Pitt's acting when he realized what was happening. I thought it was fake. I thought it was just not good. Overall, again, I don't want to sound like I'm trashing it. I liked this movie. And I would definitely watch it again because it has its moments. It has, like I mentioned, it has a great cast. Morgan Freeman's great. I don't want to keep harping on the Brad Pitt thing, but I thought Brad Pitt just comes off as like a pretty boy. My crap doesn't stink.
That's the
can't
point.
be touched.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
tried to tell him, Ben. I
He
tried to
does
tell
the
him.
same
He doesn't
thing
listen
in
to me.
every movie.
No, he
Every
doesn't.
movie.
Have you seen Meet Joe Black?
No, but that's not one of the 19. But I think we discussed last week. I own Meet Joe Black, but I have not seen Meet Joe Black, and I like Anthony Hopkins a lot, so I will get to that eventually. But other than Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman was great. The big surprise for me, Kevin Spacey, I really loved in this. I wish I could have seen more of his character. And yeah, so ironically, last week Dan told me, and this is going to sound because of what he told me, but he told me if I didn't give Seven at least a 7, then I was kicked out of the movie club. But it's okay because when I watched it, I immediately knew my number. And I said, again, to nobody in the room, I said out loud, that's a 7 out of 10 for me. So that's where I am.
It's not so
No,
bad.
that's not terrible.
Seth, bring us home.
I need to contain myself real quick.
Or I mean, if you have rebuttals, let's rebuttal. Let's.
Oh, I'm
heat
getting
to the
there.
show.
Don't you worry, I'm getting there.
It's what we've been waiting for the whole season, Seth.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
Do it.
kind of is because we teased this that Matt and Seth argue all the time. So let's do it.
We argued like an hour ago before.
We did. We
show
argued
started.
minutes before we got on this Zoom call.
Not even about Brad Pitt, but okay.
It wasn't about Brad Pitt.
But we got there eventually. This movie, phenomenal. My personal favorite David Fincher movie. I had been thinking about what is my favorite David Fincher movie? He's in my top 3 favorite directors. I was bouncing back and forth between Fight Club and this one, and after watching it again, this one definitely takes the cake for me. I just thought all the acting in this movie is just phenomenal. Even Brad Pitt, and Kevin Spacey, I think he just never misses the mark on
Uh-oh.
No.
Seth, we've lost you.
So good.
Seth.
Oh no, Seth, we've lost you.
Oh, crap.
If you can hear us,
I
we
don't even
cannot
hear
hear
him
you.
talking.
Yikes.
Dang it, that sucks.
I was really looking forward to his review.
Well,
Oh, hey, wait, here he comes. Maybe.
Jeff,
Nope.
do you hear?
His eyes are moving.
Wait,
Your
print
eyes are
screen.
moving.
Oh,
Can you
Hold
hear
on,
us?
he's going very slowly.
here
Hold
we
on.
go.
Can you hear
Oh,
it?
there we
Am I
go.
here?
You're
I
here.
see you. I
Yep,
hear
you're
you.
here.
Where did I cut out? Where did I cut out?
Yay.
You cut out that it was your favorite David Fincher film.
Yep, over Fight Club.
Oh,
Take
so
the
my
cake.
entire conversation. Fantastic.
You said everybody was good in this movie, including Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Kevin Spacey never misses the mark.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
That was kind of the last thing I remember.
8 out of 10. I'm done.
No. Give more. Give more.
Good movie, good acting. Kevin Spacey, piece of crap human being, but he's talented, so I watch him any day of the week. Okay, that's it.
Now,
Like-
did you find that ending to be
Predictable.
or no?
Not at all. My first viewing, I thought it was going to be open-ended. I was like, okay, so I had seen the scene, like, what's in the box, so many times. But I was like, there's no way that I've seen this scene this many times and no one said anything about what happens, like, with the box. So I was like, okay, I'm expecting like an open-ended type thing, like what was actually in the box. And then it happened, and my mind was blown. And even the second viewing, that scene is still really, really, really intense.
Yeah, I agree.
Brad Pitt's acting is phenomenal. I don't care what any backwards hat wearing guy says. I thought that was extremely believable. And like I said, his acting made that scene so intense.
Yeah.
Even the second viewing, when I know what's going to happen and everything. And my little rebuttal for you, Matt, that he just turns himself in for no reason. His reasoning for turning himself in was a part of his plan.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But
Well, you didn't say that, so.
But at the same time, he knew he was gonna die by turning himself in.
Well, he
Yes,
didn't.
that was his
He didn't
point. That's
know,
how-
but those are the pieces he put into play. I'm sorry, Seth. Go ahead.
I just think it could have been written and done smarter.
What, you want a big shootout or something?
Yes, I do.
Well,
And
That doesn't fit the
everything
character.
he did.
That would have been nonsense.
Everything he did as a serial killer was methodical and planned out. Like from when he had a man chained to his bed for a year to the ending where he's literally
To the
got it
bed.
timed out where the delivery driver is going to be out to meet them like almost to the minute. I think the delivery driver's like 2 or 3 minutes late. Like just everything he did, he put the whole thing into Brad Pitt's character Detective Mills' hands. And it was up to him whether or not he wanted to play into the wrathful or vengeance, sin, or to walk away.
Yes. Yep.
And Kevin Spacey, I think ultimately, like his character would have been envy, if I remember that correctly, because he wanted to live the life that
he was.
Brad Pitt had, and like he wanted to have that wife and all that. He said he tried to be the husband, and it just didn't work out, or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's like everything he did had purpose, and in the end, even his death served probably the greatest purpose because that was his art, that was his masterpiece.
Right.
And then like in the beginning, like even in the entry credits, like, and I can see why the editing almost got an Academy Award for this. Like in the opening credits, it shows the folders being made, the pictures being put together, things being sewn, like meticulous handwriting, and all of that is tied back to this character. So from the moment you turn this movie on, you are inside Kevin Spacey's headspace, or the serial killer's headspace, who is John Doe. So with this too, I think it's interesting to say, and this is kind of with this, but not really, there is a comic book series that if you are willing to spend about $400 for the complete series, because it was released back in 1995, 1996, no, 2007?
2008.
2008, I'm sorry, fast forward. There is comics that are done, like there's an issue for each sin, but it's written out from the perspective of John Doe, the serial killer. So that might be something to look at
Yeah.
too.
I'm not.
That's something
You don't have to. You don't have to sell me on Kevin Spacey's character. I'm there for that. Like I said, give me more of that character. I wish I had seen him more. He was creepy. He was everything I would want in a villain, serial killer type character. And when he walks in the police office with the blood all over him, and that's a very famous scene, and that I had seen before without realizing that I'd seen it before, and it's something that sticks with you. It's very haunting. But I stand by the fact that I thought the ending was predictable. Brad Pitt's acting sucked in that scene, and I think they could have wrapped it up with the catching the killer better.
So, I'm pretty sure I read this, but Kevin Spacey's role in that movie when it came out was actually under wraps.
Yes.
So I get it. Heck, Matt, if you go to Voodoo, and you look through the actors in the movie, Kevin Spacey is at the bottom, like near the producers and everything, because they wanted to keep his role hidden, and
Right.
that's partially why his character doesn't show up until the last 30 minutes of the movie or whatever it was. But I feel like it's almost like the Jaws effect. You show the killer too much, and it'll ruin it. Such a phenomenal character and such a phenomenal performance by Kevin Spacey, that yes, we want more, but I feel like if we did have more, it would have ruined the mystique and the creepiness of him.
I agree with that. So there it is, 7 as reviewed by the MDVA Movie Club. Any final words or thoughts on the movie?
Yeah. Oh, a little bit. So you've seen 19 movies out of what was the total of Brad Pitt movies?
Oh gosh.
Do you remember? A lot, right?
It was a lot.
A lot.
So were they like, what movies have you seen? That's what my question is, because you could have seen okay, yeah, I get it.
I set the list. You didn't save it, did you?
No, but he's
No.
seen the ones that you need to see. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've seen 19 Brad Pitt movies, like, you just don't like him for some reason. I don't know.
Not to hold the show up, but I'm typing in Seth for some reason. Jeez. Brad Pitt is what I need.
I mean, we look pretty similar. What can I say?
Thanks.
No. Okay.
Okay, so really quickly, I've seen Thelma and Louise. I've seen A River Runs Through It. I've seen Interview with a Vampire. I've seen 7. I've seen Sleepers. I've seen 7 Years in Tibet. I've seen Fight Club. I've seen Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12. Seen Babel, Ocean's 13, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I've seen Burn After Reading. I've seen The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I've seen Inglourious Bastards. I've seen The Tree of Life. I've seen World War Z. I've seen Fury. And I've seen Deadpool 2, and I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And you like 3 movies out of the 19 that you've seen?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed all of that.
Oh, I didn't know you were frozen.
Were you frozen the whole time?
The entire time.
Gosh, Seth. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to donate. We're a poor but proud movie club.
GoFundMe.
Yes, we're starting a GoFundMe for Seth's internet. That's the only way we can keep him on the show. We've already lost Wyatt, but we're probably going to end up losing Seth if he doesn't get better at internet soon. Yeah, no, I enjoy. There's 3 of those that I think I would sit down and watch on a regular.
What 3 do you enjoy?
Yeah.
I already know one of them.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, World War Z, and what was the third one?
Glorious Bastards.
No, I didn't like that.
What?
Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons?
That was okay, but I don't think that was what I was considering.
I'm more surprised that you liked
Fight
World
Club?
War Z out
Fight
of
Club?
everything.
Fight Club. Yeah, I like Fight Club. Fight Club
Yeah.
is the better David Finch movie. Fincher,
Fincher.
whatever his name is. Fincher. Fight
Fincher.
Club's the better movie in my opinion.
Uh,
And I'm not just saying this to start arguments or make people mad like people think I am. Like, that's just legit how I feel. It's always been, I'm not a Brad Pitt fan.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
So
Mr.
I fully
Smith?
expect my movie next week to get crapped on just because. But
Pick the one I think you're gonna pick. I'm gonna try and crap on it, just so you know.
So that's it. That's 7, right? Everybody, have we said all we need to say? Okay. All right. Well, in other news,
Bye, Wyatt. Here's our farewell song. Kumbaya.
yes.
Yeah, play Titanic music in here somehow.
Yeah, we're saying goodbye to Wyatt. We barely knew ye. Maybe we'll throw up a montage or something of his
Seth,
best moments.
you've got to stare in the corner. Say bye to Wyatt.
There you go. Okay, so as luck would have it, next week is, as luck would have it, it's not really luck, but as it goes, it is my turn. It's my turn to pick again for next week. When I tell you that I have struggled with this, not because of when I tell you I've struggled with this, I have struggled with this because
There's just no Michael Keaton horror movies for me to pick, so I just don't know what to pick.
there is, so shut your face. It is White Noise from 2005.
Oh,
So,
God.
Oh, I actually
Oh, they're big.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, I have really struggled with this. I knew what franchise I was going to pick from day one when we started the show. You can't talk about spooky Halloween themed without Halloween.
Oh, thank goodness.
So I really was like, do I go the original that everyone's probably seen? Really? Oh gosh.
What? You haven't seen it? Dan.
I don't like spooky
Fix your
stuff.
woman.
I don't like stuff like that.
Fix your woman, Dan.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Not a spooky person.
It's not spooky.
Make your own choices.
So, and then so it's a Halloween movie.
Please don't be Halloween 3 and we're fine.
Please.
I was very, very, very close to picking Halloween.
I know
3.
he was.
I love Halloween 3. It's
terrible.
It's the movie that gets crapped on because Michael Myers isn't in it.
It's
But
terrible.
If
That's
you
why it gets
watch
crapped.
if you watch it
Another reason.
as, can I have the floor for just one small minute?
No.
If you watch it as a standalone thing, take Halloween out of it, because that's what it was meant to be. It's meant to be an anthology. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill and those people that made the first couple Halloween movies were way ahead of their time. They wanted to tell a different story every movie. So you had the Michael Myers story with Halloween 1 and 2. And then Halloween 3, they said, let's do something different. Let's tell another horror, spooky story that has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Michael Myers is over.
And it worked out so well they had to go back.
And because, I'm getting there. Because of that, everyone went into it, was like, what is this? If it had just been called Season of the Witch and not Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, it would have been, I think, a bigger movie. But fast forward all these years later, Halloween 3 has actually grown its fandom and is what you would call a cult classic. People online love this movie now, which I'm glad to finally see, because I've never hated this movie from the very first time I watched it, which I think I borrowed from you, Dan, when we were kids. You owned it on VHS, and I think I borrowed it from you one time and watched it. I've loved it since the first time I watched it, but that's not my pick. It very close almost was. But obviously the whole no Michael Myers thing didn't work, so they brought him back in Halloween 4, which is another movie I really love. That just has the whole 80s slasher vibe to it, and in a good way, not in a bad way. But that's also not what I picked. But it was also one that was very close. So what I ended up deciding on is I looked at the whole series. It's like, what are my favorite Halloween movies in order? You can't. Obviously, the first one is first, and I really was thinking about doing that, but I really thought that's so unoriginal, and everyone's probably seen it. So I'm going to do my favorite sequel, which is Halloween H2O. Halloween 7 is the number, but it is Halloween H2O from 1998, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. It is her first return to the series after Halloween 2 back in 1981. And she comes face to face with the boogeyman, Michael Myers, for the first time in 20 years. Of course, now we know. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Of course, now we know that they're doing the new Halloween movies, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, all that coming up. It's been 40 years, so Jamie Lee is back again, doing it again. But at this point in 1998, it had been 20 years from the original 1978, and it was actually her idea to make the movie. I guess the story goes, and we'll get into this next week because heads up, next week I'm going to talk about Halloween a lot. But she, I guess, was sitting, eating or drinking tea or something that celebrities do one day, having lunch, and realized that it was coming up on the 20th anniversary of the release of Halloween, the original. And so she called John Carpenter, who the director who wrote and directed the first Halloween, and tried to get him involved. He ended up not getting involved, but the movie still got made. And while it's not my favorite Michael Myers mask in the series, which we'll get into next week, it is my favorite sequel, and it makes up for the crappy, cheesy mask. So I hope everyone enjoys it, at least somewhat. Even if you don't like slasher, because Dan was given a 7, so we didn't go full slasher. Well, next week we're going full slasher. Halloween H2O is my pick. And it is available if you don't own it, which I do. But if you don't own it, it is available on AMC Plus, which just for you guys, I signed up for, so you guys can watch that at your convenience this week. And it's kind of a really confusing app. Like, I was like, thank God I own this and don't have to use this. But I try to make it a little easier for you. Once I finally found the movie, because it's not in the list when you go to movies in the app, it's not in there. But I was like, it says it's here. So I went to search and I typed in Halloween H2O, and then it popped up. So I added it. There's something called My Stuff when you get in the app. So if you go into the app, on the left-hand side, there's a thing that says, icon that says My Stuff, and it's saved under there. So you can just go right there and watch it. Club members, not audience YouTube members, I apologize. You'll have to sign up. There is a free trial. So sign up and then cancel if you haven't already seen H2O, or go buy it. I'm sure it's in Walmart or something. That is all I got. Does anyone else have anything?
Yes, I do. Speaking as someone who is going through their Myers-thon right now, I went to Season of the Witch with, an open mind. I had watched it when I was, 10 or 11 years old, whatever I was. And I was confused why there was no Michael Myers, because I was 10 or 11. But I still liked the movie for what it was. Well, fast forward to yesterday. I watched it open-minded again to really enjoy this movie. And it sucks. It's weird, and it just doesn't make, I don't know. It's a bad idea.
The whole premise of this movie, wasn't it that they did something to the masks, and every time a commercial plays, like, the kids who had the masks on, like, they get, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they die just to kill kids, which is an extremely dark movie, and I like it in that aspect, but it's a stupid, movie. No.
When was the last time, I don't mean to cut you off, Kayla, I feel like you're going to say something.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
When was the last time you watched Halloween 3?
Probably literally, I don't know, maybe like 10 to 12 years.
Okay, so it's also on AMC Plus. So if you get extra time, like after you watch H2O.
I'm getting homework.
Yeah,
I'm getting
if you
homework
get
from you.
if you get extra time, maybe get some extra credit points and rewatch Halloween 3 and let me know if you still hate
In
it.
between your viewings of My Little Pony, try to squeeze in Season of the Witch.
Hey, it was
Ouch. Yeah, man. I'm telling you that
good. The musical part was really good.
I would have rated it higher than certain movies. Let's just say.
Are you a brony now? Huh?
Yeah, I might be. I might have to go like
the next Comic-Con, you'll be dressed up as like Twilight
yeah,
Sparkle.
man. Look, I'm definitely looking forward to going back to some Comic Cons,
Yeah.
but not Twilight Sparkle. I'd be Queen Celestia, and I'll own that.
You could be Luna.
Yeah,
You
Luna
could be
for
Luna.
real.
This is
Anyway.
not meant to be an actual discussion.
It's like, who are these characters?
Was the Halloween 3, was it marketed as a Michael Myers movie?
I don't think
No.
so.
Or no,
No.
it wasn't?
I don't
Okay.
really
It
think.
wasn't.
Was there any marketing whatsoever for
Yeah,
that?
because I could see
Was.
that.
You would know. You're the oldest of the group.
So-
Tell us.
I wasn't alive when it came out, but from what I understand, I mean, there's a trailer. I mean, on the poster, legit, because I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but the poster for the first Halloween, the tagline was "The night he came home." No lie, the tagline on the Halloween 3 poster legit said, "The night no one comes home." So, like, I mean, they did things. Plus, like I said, a trailer. I mean, they made it kind of clear that he wasn't going to be in it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just wondering
It
if
does
maybe
show
it
up,
just
though.
misled people. If that's why it was such a huge.
I mean, if people weren't paying that much attention, they're like, "Oh, Halloween 3, Michael Myers."
Right,
They
exactly, right.
They could have. It very well could have just went into it, blindsided. But
Technically, he does show up.
technically, he does show up. Yes, in a small scene. Plus, Jamie Lee Curtis has a cameo that you will not catch. I'll have to point out if you do end up watching it, Dan. I'll point it out. And John, it was the last movie that John Carpenter, who invented Halloween, not invented Halloween, but invented the movies Halloween, was involved in up until Halloween 2018. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Carpenter, and let me just tell you, he is a grumpy old man, but in the best way. Love me some John Carpenter, but he is grouchy. Like, I can see Jamie Lee Curtis calling him for H2O, like, "Hey John, it's the 20-year anniversary. Let's do another Halloween movie." And he would be like, "F you. I ain't doing that no more." Like, that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of personality he is. And I have to show you guys the picture if you haven't seen it of me and him, because it just screams like the way he's standing and just like, "I don't want to be here." All right, everybody. So that's it. Halloween H2O, available on AMC Plus, or wherever you get your movies. Any last final words?
Matt's opinion on Brad Pitt is extremely false and inaccurate.
You know what? But that's why it's an opinion. Everyone has one.
All right,
You
Matt.
can have that opinion.
I'm gonna make Matt a deal since we're gonna sit here and we're gonna throw this at you. I will accept watching Halloween 3. I will make that part of what happens. But in return, like, you've then got to watch. You want to watch it anyway. Why don't you watch Meet Joe Black?
This week?
Oh yeah, you're gonna put 2 movies on me. I'm putting 2 movies on you, sir.
But my movies are an hour and a half each, which equal 3 hours, whereas Meet Joe Black is 3 hours by itself.
You know what? All I hear are excuses. That's all I'm hearing.
I'm trying to think of another one.
That's how much he hates Brad Pitt. Okay.
I can try to get that done.
Wait, no, I have a good one that he could watch. Well, I think it's a good one. That's Brad Pitt that you could watch, and it's kind of like fits the theme of like psychos and stuff. For somebody talking.
Is there a
Is there
cat?
someone talking? A cat talking?
It is my cat. This is why I look in the corner all the time. Okay.
Oh, your cat's in the corner. Don't put baby in the corner.
You
Anyway.
should name the cat Baby.
No. Her name is Ren, and she's
Okay,
perfect.
so compromise then. Not Meet Joe Black. You should watch California.
Oh
I really
yeah.
wanted to
I
watch
want to
that.
watch that.
I have heard
Watch it.
really good things about that.
Neither
and
of you have watched that?
I do. I think I do want to watch that.
That's a good one for Halloween too.
For this month, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I'd
watch
have to buy it or find it somewhere, but I'll do that.
Where did
Well,
we
do you
just
like?
watched it?
Do you
We
like?
just watched it.
Yeah, we just watched it for free. Do you like David Duchovny?
I do.
Okay. Who's the other chick? Oh my
Juliette
God.
Lewis.
Yeah,
Yes, I like
Juliette
her
Lewis.
too. Yeah, the whole movie looks like something I would enjoy. So,
Yeah. So,
I mean,
What's the
yeah.
premise?
So it's about this writer who goes to different murder spots and is writing a book, trying to like put a collection together. And then you have Brad Pitt, whose character is like this, like slum. He's
Trailer
a
trash
convict.
type.
Blah blah blah. They hitch a ride to go to California, and then it's a whole bunch of events that happen on their way to California, and you just see, path of destruction going along.
We'll say that David Duchovny is closer to his source material than he would have originally have expected.
Right. There you go. Wow, that's perfect. That was really
not sure
good.
what that means.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. It's an excellent Brad Pitt film. But then again, I do like Brad Pitt, so
Brad Pitt being slumming and trashy, I'm all for, because
yeah, I mean, you'll
he's
probably
too-
appreciate his. It's a really good performance in this. It really is. I mean, everybody actually. It's a really good performance, especially from Juliette Lewis. You really like the character. They give a lot of depth to the characters and stuff, so it's good. Yeah, where did we? We'll have to text Matt because we just watched it like 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
we didn't rent it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that stands compromise.
Okay. Challenge accepted. I will watch California. If you watch Halloween season 3, or season 3, what am I doing? Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, along with Halloween H2O for next week. And we will report here, same bat time, same bat channel. Until next time, everybody, love one another and have a great week.